So I'm Jen from the Science Center, and today we're going to make slime.
Okay.
So the things you're going to need, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat as we go, is you are going to need shampoo. You just need about 2 tablespoons, so just a little bit. You're going to need some cornstarch. You're going to need half a cup of cornstarch. If you want, you can use food coloring, but you don't have to, and you're going to need some water. You might also want a towel or something because this can get a little bit messy, and you're going to need a spoon to mix with. Okay, and a bowl. Okay, has everybody got their stuff? So it looks like I see some bowls, I see some shampoo. You can use body wash. Jacob and Jerome, you need more time to get your stuff together? Okay, great. So go ahead and get your stuff. So you need shampoo, just a little bit of shampoo, or some body wash if you have, like, you know, that stuff that comes in a bottle like this. You need cornstarch. And you're gonna need a measuring cup. So if you have like a half cup measure, that's a good thing to use. So you need half a cup. Okay. Is everybody gonna use food coloring? Or are you gonna use like, yeah? Because that's kind of fun. So if you have food coloring, you're definitely gonna want like a towel or a rag because food coloring is super messy, right? Food coloring is so messy. It's really fun. Okay. All right. I see some bowls. I see some measures. It looks like we've got some stuff. And you are going to need a little bit of water. And the amount of water that you're going to need is going to depend on what kind of shampoo you have. So we're just going to go and see how it works. Okay. All right. So we ready to get started? I see some stuff. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and tilt this so we can see my screen. So you can see what I'm doing. All right, but go ahead and unmute yourself if you have questions. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our shampoo and we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons. So if you have just a regular spoon, that's okay. If you have a measuring spoon, that's good. So we're gonna, gonna shake our shampoo up. It's a good thing to do with the last little bit of shampoo in a bottle. My shampoo is really thick. Oh no, I'm gonna have to grab more shampoo. Okay, so we need 2 tablespoons of shampoo. So there's 1 tablespoon. Gotta shake my shampoo. There we go. And we need 2 tablespoons. This does not need to be super exact. Okay, 2 tablespoons of shampoo. Whew, I had enough in my bottle. Okay. Now mine is not very colorful shampoo. Mine is pretty boring. So I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of food coloring so I can have fun colors with my slime. Okay, so I'm just going to, you just need 1 drop of food coloring. Because food coloring is very, very, very intensive, right? It's very strong. So I'm just going to do 1 drop of food coloring, and you're going to mix that all together. So we're going to do a lot of stirring today. Ooh. We're going to have some fun colors today. Ooh, mine is very green. Look how green that is. Food coloring is a very strong thing, isn't it? Okay, that's why we want to be careful not to get it on our clothes. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to measure our cornstarch. So we are going to use some cornstarch, and we need half a cup of cornstarch plus a little bit. So if you have just like another spoon somewhere and you can just make like a little extra cornstarch, that would be good. Okay, so I'm going to measure my cornstarch. Let's do some measuring. You guys like to measure stuff? All right, so I'm just gonna measure my cornstarch. Try not to make a big mess. I'm gonna make half a cup of cornstarch. Oops. So this is actually just about right. So you want to have like a really full cup of cornstarch because we need a little bit more than half a cup. So if you have like a really full cup like this, that is just perfect. Okay, do we have some? All right, so and then you're gonna dump it in the bowl. I see Dexter is all ready. All right, now what we're gonna do is you're gonna stir, and it's gonna be really messy and gross, right? So it's gonna be all crumbly. Cornstarch is very interesting because when you mix it with water, it acts really strange. Cornstarch acts in a way where the water mixes with it differently than it does with like sugar. It doesn't dissolve. It just gets really clumpy and crumbly. All right. Okay. Now what we need to do is we're going to add water, but the amount of water that you need is going to depend on how much water is in your shampoo. So we are just going to take 1 spoon at a time, and we're going to mix it in and see how much we need. So you're just going to add 1 spoon of water, and you're going to stir. Now, does this look like slime? This does not look like slime. I'm going to add more water. You might need a lot of water, you might need a little water, but it's always easier to add more water than to take the water back out, right? Okay, that does not look like slime. I'm going to keep adding water. You know what? I'm going to add water, and I'm going to add 2 spoonfuls of water. My shampoo does not have very much water in it. All right. Oh, here we go. So I'm finally getting somewhere. This is starting to look like slime, right? But it is still super floury. I don't know what you guys' slime looks like, but mine does not look like very good slime yet. It's very, very thick, and I want it to be a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna add a little bit more water. This is good practice when you're doing stuff, if you do stuff in the kitchen, because sometimes you can make different things depending on how you want something to turn out. You can add a little bit more of something. You can make observations and see what it looks like. Now this is really thick. So this is actually getting pretty good. So I'm gonna switch to using my hands. Oh, I think I finally have the consistency that I am looking for. Now, when we make slime at the Science Center, we use different kinds of things. We use glue and we use different kinds of materials, but this is a fun way to make slime with stuff that you have in your kitchen, right? And what you can do with this is the shampoo has long strands in it called polymers. I see some pink slime. That looks very cool. I see some lighter colors. I see Jacob and Jerome are stirring like crazy. All right, so what happens, I think I maybe added just a little bit too much water, which is why you have to be careful. I might try to add a little bit more cornstarch so I get a good consistency. But what happens is that the shampoo has these very, very long strands. And when you mix it with the cornstarch, you end up with this really funny thing that is not quite a solid and not quite a liquid. And it holds the very long strands together, and the cornstarch doesn't dissolve perfectly. It just suspends itself in with all of the shampoo. So you end up with this really, really goopy thing. So you can make some observations when you're working with your slime. So you can make some observations and you can see what happens when you stir your slime. I'm going to mix in just a little bit more cornstarch because I spilled some cornstarch, and my cornstarch We'll make this just a little bit thicker. I think that even though I was being careful, I added just a little bit too much water. There we go. I think that's going to be exactly what I want. You can make observations with your slime. You can see what happens when you stir it. You can see what happens when you mush it, right? You can try to see if you can build things with your slime. I see lots of bright colors. I think we're having a lot of fun with this. You want to be careful with the slime in terms of you don't want to eat the slime because it has soap in it, but you can play with it with kitchen stuff. So you can try using, if you have different kinds of tools in your kitchen, you can do things, you can mash your slime. And if you want, because this is cornstarch, you can even take this in the bathtub and you can see what happens if you get it really wet. So what do you think will happen? This has a lot of shampoo in it. What do you think will happen if we get it wet? Do you think it'll get bubbly? What do you think will happen? I see so many cool colors. I see lots of chemistry going on out there when all of our mixing. I'm going to take some water and I'm going to put some slime in the water because I want to make some observations. I'm going to make a prediction. I think that the slime will get foamy and bubbly like shampoo does, but I can find out by making some observations. So I'm just going to take my water and I'm going to put a little bit of slime in here and see what happens. So I have some on my fingers, so I can just go ahead and put that in. What's going to happen? The slime is starting to come apart. It looks like the slime did not get foamy. The slime turned back into cornstarch and water, which is something else we make at the Science Center called oobleck. And that is also a fun thing to do. All right. Yes. Do you have do you have a question? You can go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh wait, I can unmute you. Hang on one second. Let me dry my hands off. Go ahead.
I noticed that when I try to crumple all of the slime into like a little ball, it just spreads back out when I let go of it.
That is a very good observation. So that is something that happens because of the cornstarch. So what happens with cornstarch is when you mix it with water, you get a very unusual thing called a non-Newtonian fluid. And what happens is that it acts very different than how you would expect a liquid to act. Normally, if you take liquids and you sort of bunch them up, they act sort of, you know, like you can just sort of bunch them up like this. But if you mix cornstarch and water, you get something that is sort of strange. It kind of acts like a liquid sometimes, and it sometimes acts like a solid, right? So when you bunch it up, it acts like a solid. And when you let go of it, it acts like a liquid, right? Most things aren't like that. So if you think about things like if you eat like yogurt for breakfast, or if you think about like juice, if you take juice and you bunch it up, it doesn't turn into a solid, does it? It's just a liquid. But this acts like a solid when you scrunch it, and it acts like a liquid when you let go. So that's very interesting. All right. Well, I see a lot of chemistry going on, so I'm going to leave you guys to your chemistry. But what I want to tell you is next week on Tuesday, we're going to do another activity. So on Tuesday, what we're going to do is we are going to build a little tabletop mini golf course. So has anybody played mini golf before? Yeah, awesome. You've played mini golf. So you can do mini golf at the Science Center now because we're open. But if you haven't, or even if you have, we're going to make a little mini golf course on our table, and we're going to make some predictions, and we're going to make some observations, and we're going to see how different obstacles change the way that a toy ball goes around a course. So we will do that. If you guys want to share anything you made about your slime, any observations you made about your slime, it looks like we're very slimy here and there. I'm going to leave you to your slime, and I hope that I will see you guys next week. Oh my goodness. Jerome, your slime is very slimy. Did you add a lot of water to yours? Your slime is so slimy. Awesome. Okay. Well, have fun with your slime, and make sure you wash your hands when you're done real good. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody. Bye, slimy science friends.